So the CEO of Lukoil there essentially saying to me that he believes Russian President Vladimir Putin will attend the COP27 in Egypt and potentially COP28 as well. That will be right here in the UAE in a couple of years' time. But as we were saying, an outsized Russian presence, what does that really mean for the Americans? Where are the Americans at this point?
Yeah, it's really fascinating, isn't it? Particularly when it comes to climate commitments moving forward and what progress we're going to see at COP27 and COP28 here in the UAE.
Yeah.
Let's get some more on this and bring in Joe McMonigle. He is Secretary General of the IEF, joining us from the ADIPEC conference today. Joe, always great to see you. Thanks for joining us today. Let's begin by getting your reaction to what you're hearing on the ground here from energy executives about the outcomes of COP26 and what they're saying about the future pricing here for oil and gas through 22 and beyond.
Yeah, I think what was interesting about this recent COP meeting is that it was against the backdrop of really an energy crisis that we've talked about since early summer. And I think that's kind of injected a lot of reality on both sort of sides of this, the oil and gas sector, energy sector, and those that are solely focused on the climate issue. And I think what we've come to realize now is that we have to walk and chew carbon at the same time. We have to address the energy transition and climate issues. And at the same time, we need more investment in oil and gas to power the world economy. And we've seen what happens recently with regard to especially natural gas prices when we have underinvestment in upstream oil and gas.
And not just underinvestment, right, Joe? Because at the end of the day, this is also about politics. It's also about talking to the oil and gas community. And one of the big questions, of course, I asked the Occidental CEO yesterday on my panel was, does it make you uncomfortable that the Biden team seems to be going hand in hand to OPEC Plus members to do something about production, to do something about the price of oil, when they've got their own oil and gas sector back at home that they seem to be slapping around from pillar to post, whether in congressional committee or the president essentially saying you're not doing enough to help us with prices?
Yeah, I mean, this is very reminiscent of my time at the Department of Energy back in the early 2000s, and oil prices were obviously a lot lower then. But even during that time, we were, approaching OPEC and encouraging more production. I think that what's different this time is now it's combined with sort of inflationary aspects built into just higher energy prices because of demand. And it's not just an economic problem, it's a political problem. So even the previous administration, the Trump administration, used OPEC as a little bit of a punching bag. But behind the scenes, we're, very collaborative with a lot of the big producers, Saudi Arabia, the UAE, and others that are here. So I'm not surprised this is going on, but I do think there's a lot more understanding of the energy market is not just, one silo. Everything is interconnected. And if you're doing something on one end, the market's going to send you signals about something that's not working. And so I think we need to look at it as a global, especially the oil and gas market is a global market. And so anything we're doing to restrict trade in oil and gas is really going to hurt, global prices and hurt everybody.